There is a quiet law that every warrior eventually learns, not on the battlefield, but in the mind. Break it, and your thoughts fracture, your will weakens, your life becomes noise. Obey it, and inner chaos collapses into a single, ruthless calm. In ancient Japan, they had a name for this order, and the last Ronin lived by it when everything else was taken from him. The awakening. He wakes up already tired, not from lack of sleep, but from the war inside his head. One moment he wants discipline, the next, comfort. One voice says focus, another whispers later. He opens his phone before his mind is fully awake, checks messages, news, distractions. By the time he stands up, his attention has already been stolen. He tells himself he'll train later, work later, become better later. This isn't laziness, it's fragmentation. Modern life doesn't crush men with suffering, it dissolves them with options. The ancient Japanese would look at this man and say something unsettling. Your problem is not motivation. Your problem is that you walk many paths at once. A mind divided cannot be strong. A sword swung in 10 directions cuts nothing. The ancient system. The samurai did not believe discipline was about force. They believed it was about order. Bushido was not a list of tips. It was a structure for the soul. And Zen was not relaxation. It was the removal of excess. Together, they formed a rule so strict it frightened the uncommitted. One mind, one path, one moment. The last Ronin understood this when his master was gone, his clan erased, and his future uncertain. Without external order, he built internal order. He did not ask, "What do I feel like doing today?" He asked, "What is the path I have chosen?" Zen called this Ichigyo-Zammai, total absorption in a single act. Not multitasking, not balancing, not negotiating, presence without division. The modern world calls this extreme. The ancient world called it sanity, the internal war. Your resistance to this rule is biological. The brain seeks novelty. Dopamine rewards interruption. Every distraction feels like relief. But Bushido never trusted feelings. The samurai knew the body rebels when order is imposed. The mind screams when options are removed. This is the internal war. One part of you wants clarity, another wants escape. Zen masters describe this as a muddy pond. The more you stir it, the cloudier it becomes. Modern men stir constantly, scrolling, switching, sampling identities. The last Ronin did the opposite. He stopped stirring, and in that stillness, the water cleared. The one path. Here is the rule that ends inner chaos. Decide who you are before the moment arrives. Not daily, not emotionally, but structurally. The Ronin did not wake up and choose discipline. He removed the choice entirely. This is why modern minds resist ancient systems. They want freedom without commitment, power without sacrifice, calm without structure. Bushido demands something harsher. You choose once, then you obey. The mind relaxes not when it has many options, but when it knows the decision is already made. Practice without gaps. Water carves stone not through intensity, but continuity. The Ronin trained even when tired, especially when tired. Zen teaches that gaps are where chaos enters. Miss one day, the mind reopens negotiation. Miss two, identity dissolves. Modern psychology confirms this. Habits tied to identity override motivation. The brain prefers consistency over effort. The samurai did not ask if they felt like training. They trained because that is what they were. No gaps, no exceptions, no drama. Steel does not argue with the hammer. Pre-solutions. Ancient warriors prepared before weakness arrived. Oaths, rituals, codes written in blood, not ink. They pre-decided their responses to fear, hunger, temptation. The last Ronin knew where his blade would rest before the battle began. You must do the same. Decide now what you do when tired, when tempted, when no one is watching. Remove choice in advance. Modern men rely on willpower. Ancient men relied on structure. One collapses under stress. The other becomes calm inside it. The transformation. Eventually something changes. The noise fades. The inner voices fall silent. Not because you fought them, but because you stopped feeding them options. The scattered self dies quietly. The disciplined self is born without ceremony. This is the way of the last Ronin. No applause, no motivation, only order. And from that order, freedom.